Have you ever felt that no matter how much you rush, life still doesn't become simple? You earn more money, yet your mind isn't calm. You get more things, yet a void remains inside. And then one day, you ask yourself, what is it that I actually want? Most people never even get to ask this question their entire lives because they are so busy trying to impress the world that they don't find the time to understand themselves. And right here begins the journey of mind like water.
All right, listen up. You've made it this far, so do yourself a favor. Flip your phone over. There's nothing to see here, no fancy visuals, just audio. Now, put those earphones in, get comfortable, and really, listen. I'm telling you, man, this isn't just hype. This could literally change your life. This isn't a motivational book. It doesn't teach you to run faster. It teaches you to stop, teaches you to listen, and most importantly, teaches you to understand yourself. Because perhaps the biggest problem in your life isn't that you have little, but that your mind is never satisfied. Now, understand a deep point. Look at water. When water is calm, everything is clearly visible in it. But when that same water is shaken, its reflection also breaks. The human mind is exactly like this. When the mind is calm, decisions are clear, direction is clear, life is clear. But when the mind is constantly filled with thoughts, worries, and desires, a person gets confused. And in today's world, the biggest shortage isn't of knowledge, it's of inner calm. Now think, what do you do as soon as you wake up? You check your phone, look at notifications, scroll through social media, watch others' lives, and then slowly you spend your entire day reacting. You don't decide for yourself what you want to think, the world decides. And this is the reason why your mind never stays calm. Now imagine, if stones are thrown into a lake constantly, will its water ever remain stable? No. Similarly, if you are consuming information every moment, constantly comparing, constantly worrying about the future, then how will your mind stay calm? This is the first big lesson of this book. Peace is not something you will find outside. Peace is found when you reduce the noise within you. Now another powerful realization. Most people think their problems are outside, in their job, in their relationships, in money. But many times the problem isn't the situation. The problem is your thinking about that situation. Two people face the same challenge. One breaks, the other becomes strong. Why? Because the event was the same, but the mind was different. And this is the game of the entire life. The outer world will always keep changing, but if your mind gets shaken by every little thing, you will never experience peace. Now imagine, if you develop such stability inside you that people's opinions cannot shake you, failures cannot break you, success cannot blind you, what would life be like? This is the philosophy of mind like water. Be like water, soft yet strong, flexible yet stable. Because water doesn't fight, but it finds a way. Water doesn't react quickly, but it creates its flow around every obstacle. And perhaps this wisdom is most needed in today's world, because people are full of information, but empty of clarity. People are connected, but disconnected from within. People look successful, but are not calm. And until the mind is calm, no achievement feels complete. But the question is, if the mind itself is the root of every problem, how can it be made calm, light, and stable like water? This is where the deepest part of this book begins. Because mind like water says that a person's biggest problem is not that they have many problems, but that they have many unnecessary thoughts. And there is a huge difference between the two. Mind like water reveals a powerful truth. Your mind often doesn't live in reality. It either wanders in the past or remains lost in the future. Now think, when you are sitting alone, what does your mind do? It remembers some old mistake, remembers some old insult, repeats some old regret, or starts worrying about the future. If this happens, if I fail, if everything goes wrong. And in this process, you lose the present moment. Now imagine, you are sitting in a beautiful place, the wind is blowing, the sun is setting, but your mind is stuck on some old problem. Can you enjoy that moment? No, because happiness is not outside. Happiness is in attention. Where your attention is, there your life is. And this is why someone who learns to live in the present starts feeling peace even in small things. Now, a deep truth. The world always teaches you. Get more, become more, achieve more. But very few people ask, what I have, do I even truly appreciate it? Because the problem is not of lack, the problem is of awareness. You have become accustomed to what you have, so you don't consider it special. Now imagine, if you woke up tomorrow and only got those things for which you felt gratitude today, then how much would you have left? This question shakes a person to their core because we take blessings as normal, and then turn that same normal into complaints. Now, another powerful realization. Mind like water teaches that strength is not always in force.
And when reality
Many
turns
times,
out differently,
strength is in
he
surrender.
becomes sad.
Now, this may sound strange,
This
but
is the
think.
beginning of suffering.
Water never fights a wall.
Because life
it
is
makes
a
a way
flow,
around it.
and you want to hold
It is
on
not
to it.
rigid.
Now
it is
imagine,
adaptable.
Try to
And
hold
this
a
is what
river
makes
in
it
your
powerful.
fist.
But what does
What will
man do?
happen?
He wants to
Nothing.
control everything.
The water
How
will
people
slip
behave,
out.
what situations
Similarly,
are like,
the
what
more
the
you try to
future is
control
like.
life, the more frustration increases. But when you learn to trust, learn to accept, learn to move with the flow, then resistance starts to decrease. And as soon as resistance decreases, peace begins to increase. Now another deep truth. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your attention. If you focus on negativity all the time, life will feel heavy. If you focus on possibilities, life will feel open. If you focus on comparison, life will feel unfair. But if you focus on gratitude, that same life will start feeling beautiful. That is, before reality changes, perception changes. And as soon as perception changes, the whole world starts looking different. Now imagine, if your mind truly became like water, not holding on to the past, not afraid of the future, not reacting to every matter, what would happen? You would become light. You would become clear. You would become free. Because then your energy wouldn't be spent on lifting problems, but on feeling life. But now, the biggest question remains. If for years the mind has been stuck in worry, fear, and overthinking, how to slowly take it to that calm state? This is where Mind Like Water teaches a principle that sounds simple, but if someone truly understands it, their entire life can change. And that principle is the difference between response and reaction. Most people are not living life, they are only reacting. Someone says something and their mood goes bad. Someone criticizes and the whole day goes bad. A plan fails and confidence breaks, meaning their emotional remote control is in others' hands. Now imagine, a small message came and your mood changed. A comment came and you got worried. An opinion came and you started doubting yourself. So who has the real power? You or those people? This is the reason why wise people do not react, they respond. And there is a world of difference between the two. Reaction is automatic. Response is conscious. Reaction comes from emotion. Response comes from awareness. Reaction makes you weak. Response makes you strong. Now imagine, someone insults you. Earlier, you would get angry immediately, but now you just observe. You stop, you breathe, and then you decide how to respond. This is inner mastery, and this is the mind like water. Because water doesn't explode on every stone, it just flows. Now, a deep truth. A major part of all the unnecessary suffering in your life doesn't come from events, but from your interpretation of those events. Two people lose their jobs. One thinks, my life is over. The other thinks, perhaps this is the beginning of a new chapter. The event is the same, but the experience is different. Why? Because the meaning is different. And this is the next lesson of Mind Like Water. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens through your interpretation. Now another powerful realization. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't take care of it consciously, weeds will grow on their own. Fear, jealousy, anger, resentment, comparison, these are all weeds. And if you don't clear them daily with awareness, slowly they will take over the entire garden. This is the reason why inner peace is not an accident. It is a daily practice, in every day, every moment, every decision. Now imagine, instead of grabbing your phone the moment you wake up, you sit in silence for 10 minutes. Just observe your thoughts, your breathing, your emotions. What will happen? Slowly, your mind will start becoming clear. Because clarity doesn't come from information, clarity comes from silence. And in today's world, silence has become the rarest thing. Everywhere there is noise. Noise of screens, noise of news, noise of social media, noise of people's opinions. And in this noise, a person has forgotten to listen to their inner voice. Now understand another deep point. Water always flows downwards. It doesn't try to prove, it doesn't compete, it doesn't compare, yet it is one of the most powerful forces. Why? Because its power is not in aggression, but in consistency. And this lesson is for humans too. You don't need to prove yourself to everyone. You don't need to win every debate. You don't need to get ahead in every comparison. Because the real victory is not outside. The real victory is when your mind is in your control, when your peace does not depend on any situation, when your happiness is not dependent on any achievement, and when your stability is not shaken by people's opinions. Then you truly become free.
But now another question arises. If inner peace is so powerful, then why do people lose it? And what are the habits that slowly make our calm mind restless again? This is where Mind Like Water reveals a truth that most people never understand their whole lives. And that truth is, we don't get tired of events. We get tired of our mental resistance. Think about it. It's raining. You can't stop it. But you can complain about it, get angry, get frustrated. And this frustration eats your energy. It's not the rain, but your resistance against it that tires you. Now, apply this principle to your entire life. People are the way they are. You can't change them. The past was what it was. You can't change it. Some situations are not in your control, but you keep fighting them constantly, and this fight destroys all the peace inside you. Now imagine, you are standing in a river, and you are swimming with all your strength against the flow of the water. After a while, what will happen? You will get tired. But if you understand the flow, learn to move with it, then that same river will easily take you forward. This is the law of life. Life cannot be forced. Life can be understood. Life can be flowed with. Now, a deep truth. Our biggest habit is to take everything personally. Someone didn't message. We think perhaps they are ignoring me. Someone criticized. We think I am not good. We didn't get an opportunity. We think, why does this happen only to me? But what is the reality? Most things have nothing to do with you. People are entangled in their own fears, entangled in their own problems, entangled in their own insecurities. But your mind makes everything your own story, and this is where suffering is born. Now imagine, if you stop taking everything personally, how much mental energy will you save? How much unnecessary stress will disappear? How much overthinking will vanish on its own? This is the reason why wise people do not react to everything. They know that not every battle is worth fighting, not every opinion is important, not every criticism is true, and not every situation deserves attention. Now, another powerful realization. Mind Like Water teaches that clarity doesn't come when you think more. Clarity comes when you think less. This sounds strange because we have always been taught, think more, analyze more, plan more. But many times, thinking is not the solution. Thinking is the problem. Because the mind keeps searching for answers constantly, and many answers are found only through experience, not analysis. Now imagine, you are worried about a decision, thinking about it all day, thinking all night, but not finding the answer. Then one day, you go for a walk in nature or sit in silence for a while, and suddenly the answer comes in front of you. Why? Because in that moment, the mind was calm, and a calm mind always sees better, not a confused mind. Now, another deep truth. Your mind wants control all the time. It wants certainty. It wants guarantees. It wants to know what will happen next. But life doesn't give certainty. Life gives possibilities. And the person who becomes comfortable with uncertainty
becomes the most peaceful. Because now they don't want the answer to everything immediately. They don't want to control every outcome. They don't want to end every fear. They just learn to trust, and trust is the foundation of inner peace. Now imagine, you become a person who doesn't panic about the future, who isn't afraid of mistakes, who doesn't run after a chase, who can stay calm even in uncertainty. Then how different would your life be? This is the real goal of Mind Like Water, not to make you perfect, but to make you peaceful. Because a perfect life doesn't exist, but a peaceful mind can exist. And when the mind becomes peaceful, even an imperfect life starts looking beautiful. But now, the biggest question is, if peace is not outside, if clarity is in silence, if freedom is in acceptance, then what are the practices in everyday life that can slowly make the mind calm, deep, and steady like water? This is where Mind Like Water doesn't just give philosophy, it gives a way of living. Because knowledge is valuable only when it is seen in daily life. Mind Like Water says that a calm mind is not made by one big decision. A calm mind is made by small daily practices. Every day, a little bit, exactly like water slowly gives shape to a stone. Now, a deep truth. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your mornings. Because the first hour of the morning sets the tone for the entire day. But what do most people do today? Eyes didn't open, and the phone is in hand. Notifications, news, messages, social media. And before the day starts, the mind becomes overloaded. Now imagine, if you spend the first 20 minutes of the morning just with yourself, no screen, no noise, only silence, what will happen? Slowly your mind will start to settle. Because for the first time, your attention is not towards the world, but towards yourself. This is the first practice. Start the day with awareness, not reaction. Now, another powerful realization. Mind Like Water teaches that a person's mind gets most tired when they try to carry everything. Old regrets, old insults, old mistakes, old disappointments. And slowly these become emotional weight. Now imagine, you keep putting a stone in a bag every day. In the beginning it won't make a difference, but after a few months, that bag will become so heavy that walking will become difficult. This is what happens with your mind too. You don't let go, you hold on, and then you say, why don't I get peace? This is the reason why letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Because holding on to everything is not strength. Many times, letting go is the biggest strength. Now, a deep truth. Calm people are not calm because they don't have problems in their lives. They are calm because they have stopped making every problem their identity. Something bad can happen to them, but they don't consider themselves a bad person. They may face failure, but they don't consider themselves a failure. This separation gives freedom, because then the event and identity become separate. Now imagine, if your business fails and you just say, the business failed, not me. What will happen? You will recover quickly because you have protected your identity. This is wisdom. Now, another powerful realization. Mind Like Water says that to understand life, sometimes you have to slow down. Today, everyone is in a hurry. Quick success, quick money, quick results, quick happiness. But look at nature. A tree doesn't grow overnight. A river doesn't make a path in one day. A mountain doesn't form in 1 year. Everything takes time, and yet they are all calm because they trust the process. But humans have forgotten the process. They only want the result, and this impatience creates anxiety. Now imagine, if you learn to enjoy the process, what will happen? The journey itself will start feeling like the destination, because now you are not living just for the future, you are living this moment too. Now another deep truth. The biggest enemy of your peace is not always the situation. Many times it is your expectations. You want people to always behave according to you, life to always run smoothly, plans to always work. But reality is different, and then disappointment begins. This is why peaceful people don't keep low expectations, they keep flexible expectations. They know life will change, people will change, plans will change. And because they have accepted this truth, they suffer less. And slowly, this acceptance makes their mind calm like water. But now the last and most important question remains. If someone truly integrates this wisdom into their life, what would their life look like? And what is the final message of Mind Like Water? Perhaps its answer is very simple, but all its power is hidden in that simplicity. Because the purpose of this book is not to teach you to run away from the world,
but to teach you to remain calm even while living in the midst of the world. Mind like water reminds you again and again, don't try to win life, try to understand life. Because the more you fight with life, the more you keep getting tired, and the more you understand it, the lighter you feel. Now imagine, you wake up in the morning, and for the first time, your mind doesn't run in worry of the future. Your attention doesn't go into comparison. You are not in the race to impress anyone. You are just in the present moment, fully. Wouldn't such a life be different? Absolutely, it would. Because now your energy is not going into stress, but into awareness. Now, a deep truth. The biggest luxury in life is not money. The biggest luxury is a calm mind. Because if you have everything but the mind is restless, nothing will feel like enough. But if the mind is calm, even very few things start feeling like enough. This is the reason why some people remain happy even in a small life, and some people remain restless even after having everything. The difference is not outside, the difference is within. Now, another powerful realization. You can keep searching for answers your entire life, but some answers are found only in silence. Some answers are not found in books, but in your own experience. Some answers are not found by thinking, but by letting go. And this is maturity, when you start realizing that it is not necessary to understand everything. It is not necessary to control everything. It is not necessary to win everything. Sometimes, just flowing is enough, exactly like water. Now imagine, a river. It doesn't compete with anyone. It doesn't prove that it is powerful. It doesn't announce that it is moving forward. It just keeps flowing, calm, constant. And years later, that same river cuts through mountains and makes paths. This lesson is for humans too. You don't need to explore every day. You just need to be consistent. You need to be a little better every day, a little calmer, a little more aware, a little more present. And slowly, your entire life will change. Now, a deep truth. Most of your troubles are not because life is difficult, but because your mind is constantly creating resistance, not accepting what is, wanting to hold on to what is not. And in the midst of this, it misses what is present right now. This is why happiness is not in the future. Happiness is always in this moment. But to feel it, the mind needs to be calm. Now imagine, if from today you complain a little less, compare a little less, try to control a little less, and observe a little more, what will happen? Slowly, space will start to form within you, and in that very space, clarity will be born, peace will be born, wisdom will be born. And that wisdom will lead you towards such a life where external circumstances will not decide your happiness. Your own mind will. And perhaps this is true freedom. Now, if this video hasn't just taught you something new but made you feel a little calmer, then definitely like it. Because perhaps someone else also needs this reminder right now that the biggest victory in life is not outside, but inside. Subscribe to the channel Life Upgrade, because here you don't just get book summaries. You get those ideas that can change the way you think, can upgrade your mind, and slowly can give your entire life a new direction. And write in the comments from today, which one thing are you going to leave behind? Overthinking, comparison, fear, control. Because many times, transformation doesn't start by adding something new, but by leaving something old behind. And now the final thing. If you truly want to learn how to keep the mind calm, how to live with the flow of life, and how to find a clarity that doesn't depend on any achievement, then definitely read this book. But don't read it to finish it quickly. Read it slowly, like a calm river flows. Feel every chapter, see every lesson in your life. Because this book doesn't just give information, it introduces you to yourself. Its link is in the description. But don't open it like you are going to buy another book. Open it like you are going to escape from the noise inside you. Because in the end, success doesn't just mean moving forward. Success means staying calm while moving forward. And the day your mind truly becomes like water, deep, calm, flexible, and stable, that day life will not change. The way you see life will change. And that change is the biggest change.